Artists, it's time to move on with our instruction about the art elements. This next art element is a tricky one to draw because it is texture. Texture is how something feels. And so you're probably already wondering, how do we draw the way something feels so that we can share its texture, whether it's slimy or soft or rough or crunchy? And that's a trick that artists use. Their line, shape, color, and form knowledge to accomplish. So now that we've already got that background knowledge, we're going to use what we know to draw some textures. We're also going to take a little bit of time to draw some values. And value is a tricky title for an art element because your mind hears value and it sounds like you have a coupon for a free Starbucks, which is unfortunately not what that kind of value means. So you will see my hands drawing again when I flip my camera view, and I will show you in a drawing way what value means, and then you're going to try not one, but two art elements with this next assignment. So please bear with me again while I flip my camera view to create a document camera, and there will be a little bit of noise as I get it set up. So thank you for your patience and grace with that. So you can probably see my finished poster, maybe not in its entirety, but pieces and parts of it. Hopefully the camera view allows you to see texture and value. I'm going to fold my paper in a way that lets me share a better camera view with you, and I'm going to write the word texture. And just as we've been doing all along, you may print or you may write in cursive. You may write in all capitals. Just make sure it's nice and neat. So texture, as you can imagine, is a little tricky. For instance, if I wanted to draw a feather, I would probably use feathery lines to show that this is light and not heavy. If I wanted to make a heavy dark line, I would probably use a big black magic marker or maybe a big thick crayon. Instead, I used feathery strokes to make this seem soft. If I want to make a brick, I will probably make my lines as thick and dark as possible just to make it appear more heavy. And even this one brick looks heavier than this feather. Use what you know about how bricks look. They are not stacked one on top of the other. They are stacked like this. That helps us imagine heavy bricks because this is drawn in the way bricks are typically laid in a wall. We can also add some small polka dots for that rough brick texture or how it feels. That helps us imagine that this is heavy as well. I imagine during the video you can hear the school bell going off. I apologize for that interruption. I am filming here in my classroom, and it is almost time for the day to end, and the bell still goes off whether you're here with me or not. For a light leaf, I might draw a funky, chunky leaf shape, but I didn't draw it as dark as my bricks. It's kind of like the feather. This leaf is lighter than bricks, so I used a lighter line that's not as dark. You can also just make some sketchy lines for fur or hair. And sketchy lines just go over and over and over very light and fast. I would like you to try to draw 6 textures. I'm going to make one that looks slimy. It's going to have one drip, drippity drip down. You could also make a water droplet if you wanted it to look slimy. Another way to create texture is lots of dots. And we're going to use those again in a moment. So, next door, value. And I'm going to use my nice handwriting or my nice cursive handwriting or all block printing, however you like. And value is simply the difference between a color and white. I have a black pen, so I'm going to start with the blackest that I can make, and I'm going to use some lines to create my darkest value. I'm going to crisscross lines on top of each other, side to side. It's going to look kind of like a mess. Then I'm going to make the next one a little bit lighter. I'm going to tic-tac-toe board. I'm going to go over it, but not as much. Still pretty dark, but not as dark as this guy. Next, lines that just go one way, so they seem a bit lighter. Then lighter. They're also farther apart. Even lighter. And finally, the lightest value of all. Dark, not as dark, not quite as dark. Still lighter, 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 white. And you can create values with any color. Blue, lighter, 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 white. Red, lighter, 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 white. You can play around with value with any color you like. Typically, you see value studies done with black down to white. That's the way they're typically done because they were first done with pencil. Try these two values, do your personal best, and submit a